All right. Let's wind this up. But Leon's show said that there was lots to talk about, and I will touch on a little something here. Okay. It was the anniversary of Sputnik, and apparently it was 50 years ago this past week that the Russians sent Sputnik into outer space, and for those of you not aware, Sputnik really scared the shit out of Americans because the Russians beat them to the punch. The Americans were like pretty well along in their rocket program, but they were meanwhile working on trying to put like a nuclear warhead on a missile. They weren't so much concentrating on just putting a satellite into space. They were kind of doing both things at once. And there was no NASA. And for Gabe, if you're watching this is all about how big government does things when the need comes up. You know, under the right leadership, when things happen, when you have the right people, smart people instead of idiots running the show, that they can get things done. Sure, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens, you know, like the Manhattan Project and all that nuclear development. They poisoned and killed a lot of people. You know, Hiroshima, bad stuff happened. I'm not saying it's all good stuff, but when you focus and get things done, it's like they keep talking. Katrina was, oh yeah, look, government doesn't work. Man, I can remember growing up, a disaster would hit, and there were never these complaints about all these boondoggles, okay? Because they knew what they were doing, and it wasn't about trying to privatize everything. Look at Blackwater. What a boondoggle that is, privatizing everything. Privatizing the space program, what a fucking stupid idea. Privatizing the military, what a stupid idea. It's like a shell game. They're saying that we have so many boots on the ground of American soldiers, but we have an equal amount of privatized people there who don't even get the benefits of what a vet would get, little as they get. It's just disgusting. All right, I'm off on another tangent here. But the Sputnik, okay? So the Russians beat us to the punch. There's this thing orbiting Earth, and Americans could look up in the sky and they could see this little, you know, tiny little star racing across the sky. You know, what looked like a star, a little reflection, pinpoint of light. And it got everybody. They started pouring money into the schools and teaching math and science to try to catch up. There you go, for our public school system. You can get things done. My older cousin, who's much older than me, was part of that generation. He's a computer scientist. The guy's a total like geek. I mean, whiz kid science guy. And he was part of that generation that was just loved science and embraced it and said, this is really good stuff. And I was part of that aftermath, but it was starting to be like they were starting to cut funding. It became less important, became less of a priority. And look what's happening to us, you know. Public money can be really put to good choices. And so this makes me think of the good old days of the Cold War. Makes me nostalgic for the Cold War, where we had an adversary that creates competition, that focuses our resolve on what we're going to get done, because the fear of letting somebody get ahead of us, also the idea of a fear of nuclear annihilation was another pretty strong motivator. Now our motivator is fear, but it's from a group of fragmented religious zealots. At least the Soviets were this group of united atheists. What a much better opponent, you know? At least you know what's going on. In the Cold War, there's all this cat and mouse games that would happen, and there was respect on both sides, and also a lot of dirty stuff that happened. But it's not the same as fearing terrorism. I wish people could grasp the difference, is that we can't fight terrorists the same way that we fought the Cold War. It's a much different thing. And for those of my friends that are atheists and that hate organized religion, I can tip my fez to you on that idea that this type of thing over religion is just so stupid. So nostalgia for the Cold War. Russians were the atheist adversaries. And from the Cold War, we had things like James Bond. and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Remember The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? I was thinking about them today. I've always thought that if they were going to make a remake of The Man from U.N.C.L.E., that Kyle MacLachlan, that guy from Twin Peaks, would make the perfect Napoleon Solo. Now, the next thing is to pick a Ilya Kuryakin. And if they can have somebody play Ilya, I think Owen Wilson has the right look for it. If he could pull off a Russian accent and really get into acting mode, and I've never seen him really act, he does his like Owen Wilson thing, but if he could sound Russian, he would make a pretty good Ilya Kuryakin. I think so. I would like to see a remake. I would like to see a movie version of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'd buy a movie ticket for that. I loved that show growing up as a kid. Loved it. They're making a remake of Get Smart. And that's another cultural icon of the Cold War. Get Smart with Don Adams and Barbara Feldon. He was Agent 86. I got this wrong before in another video. He was Agent 86. And Barbara Feldon was 99. And they say that Mel Brooks wanted to call her 69, but the censors wouldn't allow it. And Steve Carell is up for the Get Smart or remake. Okay, we're almost the end here. It might be a 4-parter, 5-parter. I'm going to wind it up. Let me leave you with this. Okay, I'm going to wish you all a good week. Okay, and my week went okay. If I get some checks coming in, I'll feel much better. But somehow we make it, don't we? There's this black cloud of financial problem. People are like losing their homes and things like that. I mean, I don't have a home, but bad stuff's happening. Sad. And it's because our government doesn't care about us anymore. So let's get another government. Let me leave you with this thought. This is a wonderful quote that I saw printed in The Week, my favorite magazine. Sacred cows make the best hamburger. Mark Twain, otherwise known as Samuel Clemens. All right, let me leave you with that. This is Citizenkong. Wishing you all a good week. Thank you, new subscribers, and those of you that tune in to Citizenkong's Fez Night. And I hope you enjoyed Fez Night Unchained. I'm running out of names for Fez Night, so if any of you think of a good name for Fez Night, go ahead and shoot me an idea. All right, okay. Signing off, the Citizenkong. Cheers.